Hello, and you are listening to FPcast, the podcast for fruitless pursuits where we bullshit about the week in pop culture. I am Luke.
I'm Jacinta.
And this week we are talking about...
Movies, television, collectibles, video games, comics, books, board games, and more.
Booyahs.
Oh, booyahs, yes. And rainbows. Voting yes, motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's huge news for Australia.
It is. I mean, it's huge news for the world. I've seen a lot of, like, international people that I follow on Twitter, like celebrities and stuff, like the lady from Outlander, being very excited that Australia has voted in a non-binding plebiscite to obviously allow gay couples to get married.
I had a non-binding plebiscite once. I had to go to a clinic for it.
Yes, but anyway, what is it, 63%?
Something
like that of the country
Did the right thing.
Did the right thing, voted yes, good for them. Though the most fascinating thing has been seeing the breakdown of electorate to electorate and who voted for what, because my electorate, not that great. I think 57% voted yes. We still voted yes, but not quite as resounding as other electorates. But the big surprise is that Western Sydney, New South Wales, very homophobic. There's a massive chunk of electorates that all voted no.
Well, you know, in Western Australia, what electorate voted yes the most?
Fremantle.
It was this. It was Curtin.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was the Western Suburbs, which surprises me too. But yeah, our area. And
there are a lot of students in this area though, as well.
Well, don't you think it does come down to education? And I'm not saying like...
Oh, well, I mean more like young people,
Yeah.
young progressives.
And I'm not saying like, oh, you know, if you voted no, you're a dummy. But I just mean like more no's are in the rural areas, for example, where the reality is you're exposed to less types of people, right? So, you know, and things might be just a little bit different there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you're a backward hillbilly.
Uh-huh.
That's not what I was saying. But I just thought, you know, when you like, I'm going to speak for the audience before they can say it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it was really good.
Yeah. No, it was fantastic.
We're all coming together. We're all in. Just like the Justice League, who are
absolutely
coming together right now over me. We just...
select members would be welcome to do that. Not all of them, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some I'll definitely pass on.
We'll talk about that in our review because that's a question. That's a question that the audience can start to ponder now. I'll seed it for you as well, and we'll talk about it in our review. Is would you want to hang out with this group of superheroes? And which group of superheroes would you like to hang out with the most? There you go.
Okay.
Put that in your...
Okay, so superheroes, do they have to be super powered?
Well...
Can they just be normal people who happen to be in a team?
Like who?
Like, if I said the, like, Rogue One squad, if I wanted to hang out with, Chirrut and Baze and shit.
They're not superheroes.
Oh, well, that fucking sucks. Because they're like... Because I want to hang out with them more than anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, like...
You wouldn't be hanging out with them for long.
No, but in my alternate reality universe, everyone's still alive and happy.
Well, those guys that were destined for death, I would hang out with those guys.
No, they're cool. But, like, no, even the Avengers and stuff, like, I don't like all of them either. I guess the Guardians are fine. It'd have to be the Guardians, wouldn't it? They're not really superheroes, though.
I don't know if I want to hang out with the Guardians.
Well, who would you want to hang out with then?
I said, like, we're just seeding this and we can talk about it in the thing. We can talk about it now?
Well, we're already talking about it.
No, I'd probably, like... See, it would have to be an iteration of the Avengers, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You can't just say I want to hang out with the Avengers because it's so...
I hang out with Thor.
Yeah.
I hang out with Tony.
Yeah.
It's a party.
I mean, he'd buy you things, I guess. That'd be fine.
I hang out with Black Widow. Scarlet Witch is fine. Vision is fine. War Machine's fine. Ant-Man, great. Black Panther, cool, yeah.
Black Panther wouldn't want to hang out with you.
Why not?
Black Panther's really cool.
Yeah, but
So he wouldn't want to hang out with you.
yeah, but why couldn't we have one of those fish out of water
Like
opposites
outreach
attract
programs? Like,
a couple? Yeah, little brother thing.
Yeah.
I could be his little brother.
yeah.
I won't call him
Don't
brother.
call him brother. No, that would be very inappropriate.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Fine with it. But there's a lot of people there I wouldn't mind hanging out with.
Okay.
Ruffalo?
Yeah, I mean, Ruffalo as a person, Bruce Banner,
Bruce Banner's fine.
he's fine. But, like, if you're assembling an ultimate, like, a Super Friends best friend team of superheroes, is Bruce Banner going to be in that?
Well, compared to some of the alternatives, yeah. I don't want to hang out with Rocket Raccoon. I don't want to hang out with Groot. Probably don't want to hang out with Drax. I like
Oh, no.
Star-Lord.
Groot could probably, like, if you had to reach something high, Groot would be there for you.
And I like Gamora.
Yeah.
But the other guys, I don't need to hang out with them. And look, I find them, like, Drax is a funny character, but I don't need to hang out with the guy.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, you know, if you're hanging out with the gang, you can probably gravitate more towards certain members of the gang.
No, part of this deal is you have to spend
Equal time with every single person.
and you have to fill out a timesheet.
Oh, okay.
And then the Watcher, Uatu, the Watcher,
Yeah.
will go over your timesheet.
Okay.
And Heimdall will double check it.
Oh, can Heimdall be in my team?
You want to hang out with Heimdall?
Yeah, just Heimdall.
He's not very, like, relaxed though, is he?
Oh no, but he'd get shit done.
It's not very... Yeah.
I want my superhero team to be Heimdall and Heimdall.
I'm a man to be like Black Widow and Scarlet Witch.
No, I'm.
You know, paddling pool full of
Oh, so all your choices are
Estrogen.
white. That's very interesting, Luke.
and Gamora. She's great.
Oh, okay, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little sliver of diversity in there. Yeah, okay.
I like Mantis too.
Oh, I'd forgotten about Mantis,
Oh,
yeah.
now the tables have turned.
Oh, no, I more meant that I don't really remember anything that happened in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because
I was like, Mantis? What is... Oh, okay.
I feel like our Guardians 2 stance, especially more mine, I think I liked it less than you did.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it didn't rock my world,
But remember, everybody was like really hyping it and buzzing about it. And now that seems to have just disappeared. But Thor is the big hype machine.
Yeah.
I think Thor's better than Guardians 2.
I'd agree that.
I like Ragnarok more.
Yeah, I mean, so do I, but also I like the characters in Ragnarok more anyway.
But I think, yeah, Guardians 2, had a bit of a hype burst and then it's all kind of dissipated.
Yeah.
It's blowing in the wind, my friend. So,
I mean, it
there you
is part
go.
of that big Marvel versus DC thing, isn't it? People just want to hype up the Marvel films, whether they're that good or not.
What is that? Like, why do we have to choose?
I don't know. I have no idea.
This is controversial, but I'm just putting it out there as a topic of discussion. Because, if it's outrageous, then, then we know it's not that. Mm-hmm. But is part of it socioeconomic?
In what way?
Well, I think of other rivalries. Like, things like, as a kid, Sega, Nintendo, and then it became, like, PlayStation, Xbox.
Yeah.
And there were people that will just, like, scream at the top of their lungs while, like, when the Xbox One came out, it was like suddenly the Jar Jar Binks of consoles. Like, you weren't allowed to mention it without making a disparaging comment about it. But I never, like, engaged with that because I'm lucky enough to have both. I was able to buy both, and I enjoy them both. They're both fine as well. Like, to say that one is like a huge piece of shit compared to the other one, it's just crazy because they're pretty much the same. And some things one does better, but then there's other things that the other does better. They're fine. And I feel like maybe we've said this before, come to that sort of same privilege with movies and things. Like, we don't have to choose. Whereas people, and including people who buy comics and stuff, you choose. You have your pull list. You put your money, which your expendable income, however much it is, you put it in one camp. You go, I'm going to read this, and then you have to justify that decision and stick with it.
Is it just
and
the
be part
nerd?
of that team?
Is it the nerd version of just following a football team?
Yeah, I think so. I think it is. Yeah, because you hear people talk about that, and also that same sort of ownership. That's the thing that always gets me when you hear people talking about sport. As someone who's not into sport, when they say, "Oh, we did really great on the weekend," it's like, you did fuck all. You sat on your couch, you lazy prick.
Well, I mean, a lot of people do pay a lot of money to get seats and go to the games and stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've contributed financially to the club,
Yeah.
which allows the players to play their game.
But that way lies madness. That's when it's like the same, to go back to pop culture stuff. It's when the fans feel like they own the things, that they own the characters, that they are the true custodians, and that the people that are making the stuff are just kind of flying in. Especially when you're talking about something as amorphous as a comic book character, or even, I guess, a football team for that matter. You're talking about things that are so fluid and really come down to a couple of colours and symbols. And everything else is just in flux all the time. So I think, God, we're going to get straight into this Justice League unintentionally if we continue down this track. But so I'll talk about the characters generally as opposed to the movie, which we'll do our movie review a bit later. But we sort of touched on this before, this idea that these characters, you get such a big response, and I think you get such a big response against things like Batman versus Superman, etc., because people have been tricked into thinking that they're really culturally important. And I think they're culturally significant. I think they're worthy of study, and I think it's really interesting how they reflect like things that are happening in the real world, and from that sort of 1940s World War II paranoia, hope kind of thing, to the post 9/11 darker superhero thing that, and you know, more complicated superhero thing that's come up. But at the same time, like as we were talking in a previous episode, they are brands. Like I think the moment that you start thinking of Superman as actually being, oh no, he's an important thing, he's this mythological character, he's like Jesus or something, and this is someone who is a role model and has these values and must be treated in a very special way, and we have to take him very seriously. And
those same people would laugh at religion.
yeah.
You know? Like, it's all make-believe business, putting far more importance into a make-believe thing than you need to.
And that idea of being so personally offended because you feel like you have this attachment to this thing where it's really a brand. It's like pledging your allegiance to Coke or something.
I
Like,
would.
Yeah, well...
Yeah. Maybe that's a bad example. Maybe like Cocoa Pops.
Coke's more like... It's consistent anyway. You know what you're getting, and you get the same thing.
Unless you accidentally pick up a coffee Coke.
Oh, man. I've tried it. I couldn't get through.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Like, I think that's the problem, is people have taken this stuff too seriously, where it's kind of throwaway. And then they... I saw this... I feel almost bad sort of saying this, but I'm going to say it because it reflects something that I find very odd. But I saw a thread from a Facebook friend, someone that I like and respect, but don't get to see very often, but I should be seeing more in the future. And this is no slight against him at all. It's just this thread in the comments sort of illuminated for me the kind of situation we're in, where someone's saying, look, I don't know if should I see this film because of Batman and Superman and stuff. I don't know if there's been enough to make me feel confident about this, or should I just go and see Thor again? Nothing wrong with that comment. That's fine.
You choose where to put your money.
But he's a big superhero comic book fan, and the thing is, he went and saw it opening day anyway, so that's a good. He went and gave it a try. But then people are kind of just edgelording in the responses, being like, oh, I didn't even see Batman versus Superman. I just watched Deadpool a few more times instead.
Oh, you're so clever.
And it's like, who are you hurting?
Yeah.
Like, what's this protest about? Like, what are you doing? I hate this thing I never saw. And then I did a completely different thing, which is not even related to that thing. Like, I know I bring up food analogies when we talk about this stuff all the time, but it would be like, I hear there's a pizza restaurant opening up. I'm not even going to eat there. I'm going to eat 4 hamburgers instead. Okay, sure.
Cool.
But what do you achieve? Like, what's your point? Whereas for us, we just go and see everything. And
we eat at the buffet of life.
Yeah, and I want to have different feelings and different experiences. And that's why we champion a lot of weird indie stuff as well, because all these things are about getting some sort of emotion or some sort of feeling out of me, or some sort of, whether it's even just pure bliss at, oh, what a wonderful, spectacular piece of garbage, to, oh, I'm actually quite challenged by this. You know, whatever it is. I want to have that range of experiences. I feel like I've dropped out on games a fair bit, and I'm actually going to review a game a bit later, but that's because you play like 10 different first-person shooters in a year, and you're like, everything's the same. It's just the background is different. You know, you see the seams. And then when you suddenly play something that surprises you and is a different genre and gives you a mechanic or a feeling that you haven't done before, that's a real positive. And that's what I'm looking for in film as well. And you want to have that whole breadth of experience. So as they say, Marvel, like both Marvel and DC have had all sorts of hits and misses that range over the whole
Spectrum,
sure. Yes. Marvel and DC, both definitely on the spectrum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
No idea what we're even talking about.
No.
Anymore.
What was the news? Did we have news?
Oh,
Was there
just a
trailers?
little bit of news. James Franco. This is more superhero movie news.
Yeah.
Multiple Man
Super
movie.
Tommy. Oh, okay.
So, Multiple Man, he was in X Factor when I was reading comics in the 90s.
Okay.
And he's in one of the X-Men movies. Is he like in Last Stand or something, just briefly?
Oh, God knows.
Anyway, he's a character that can multiply.
Okay,
himself.
cool.
And
Handy.
And there's lots of him, and then I think it sounds like they're going to do that bit of a sort of Legion thing of what happens when yourself is fractured across so many things and conflict, and what are the other selves become like. I think Legion meets Michael Keaton's Multiplicity.
Okay. Yeah. I've always wondered what a cross of those two would be like.
They didn't say that. That's my hot take on the situation. I think what this film addresses, it's not about like, oh, do we have enough superhero films already? It's, do we have enough James Franco?
Never.
And can I take this is the protein shake of James Franco films, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like, I want to take in a lot of James Franco
in a very short period of time.
Yeah, just give me the double espresso of James Franco. Let me just like freebase some Franco straight into
just
my
mainline
eyes.
some Franco.
So,
gum some Franco. Great, fantastic. Like, I know a lot of people are a bit on James Franco, but I can't think off the top of my head a movie that James Franco has been in that I've really, really actively disliked.
He's like a kind of pre-disaster Nick Cage. You know, just in that sense that here is a guy that is just pretty fearless and he just wants to go and poke his finger in all the pies. Like, he wants to just try things, do things, not be pigeonholed as any... And by doing a range of things and saying yes to a variety of things and not wanting to be pigeonholed as a thing, you kind of become a thing.
The wild card.
Yeah, like you become a thing by not wanting to be a thing. Johnny Depp did that in a way as well. This idea of, I'm not just going to be the good-looking, Johnny Depp dude. I'm not going to be Tom Cruise and just be this face all the time. I'm going to be Jack Sparrow, and then I'm going to be Scissorhands, and I'm going to be, obviously not in that order, I'm going to be Willy Wonka, etc. But by wanting to be different things, you became this other thing.
This weirdly eccentric sort of thing. Yeah. Did you see the cast picture for the new Fantasy? Yeah. He looks like
a letdown to have him still there.
And it's so, and like, even look, the Johnny Depp grossness aside, like, Grindelwald looks like a fucking sex pest. Like, that is the grossest character design. Like, and it stands out so much in that cast photo. It's gross. I'm just hoping that in the first 5 minutes of the film, he like rips his face off again. It was like, it was me, Colin Farrell, all along.
And the film is called The Crimes
Grindelwald,
of Grindelwald. Yeah. Which must include some sort of alcohol-fueled domestic abuse.
Surely, but it, I guess it means Grindelwald's going to be in the movie a whole lot. And I loved that first Fantastic Beasts movie, but I just don't think I could do this one.
To be fair, I understand that they're backed up against a corner, and I want to see it, like seeing those characters again.
Yeah, I want to too.
I'm interested. I think the only way I can see they're backed. There's probably contracts, there's all sorts of shit, but we've seen that he can change his appearance. They would be really well served, I think, by having him played by a range of actors, so it's not a full case of Hepatitis J infecting the film. Plus, you'd think that he would have to a degree, right? Because that guy is pretty easy to spot in a crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty well with his nice Bart Simpson hair.
Yes, yeah. Don't have a cow, man. Fantastic Beasts 2. Don't have a magic cow. Yeah, I had something else to say about that whole Franco thing. Don't know what it was. But there you go. We maybe put Dave Franco in it as well while you're out. Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Was I did mention Nicolas Cage pre-disaster.
Yes.
I don't actually know what the disaster was. I'm not claiming that any specific event happened, but can we all agree that we feel like something must have happened?
A switch was flicked.
Something went on. Yeah.
Maybe it was just the devastation of him not getting his Superman movie up and running. It just broke him.
God, how the mighty have fallen. And this is just a bit of non-news, but it's a quick update to a story we talked about before. The first person has been cast in Detective Pikachu, the live-action Detective Pikachu movie. And it's Justice Smith, who was seen in The Get Down.
Yeah, cool.
That's exciting, except we don't know who he's playing. I'm hoping he's playing Pikachu. Like, let's do that. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah. So, just, keeping watch.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be Hugh Jackman or Tom Cruise or whoever they were going for.
So obviously Pikachu's going to be speaking in this film.
Yes.
Which has come as a shock to many people seeing, I don't even know what
for Detective Pikachu, because he does talk.
He does talk, yes, but regular Pikachu has been revealed as speaking now, which has rocked the Pokemon world.
And where was this shown?
I have no idea. I've just seen some...
No, but what was it?
I don't know. It was some new Pokemon movie.
Oh, there we go. Giving some context for the listeners.
Yeah. So it was some new Pokemon movie, and someone filmed the end of it, which we don't obviously condone, but the audience had an absolutely hilarious reaction to the fact that, after 20 years or whatever it is that Pikachu's been around, finally Pikachu can speak.
It's like that joke with the kid that doesn't talk, and then he's like, 15 or something, and he says, pass the salt, and they're like, you can talk, and he's like, yeah, well, everything's been fine up until now. That's what Pikachu's going through.
Sure.
Trailers.
Yeah.
They're short bits of movies that are coming out. Rampage. We talked about this before. This is the movie based on the game that I know from the 80s. I played it on my Commodore 64, in which 3 humans are turned into basically King Kong, Godzilla, and a giant wolfman. And you play as them, and you punch buildings to try and cause as much damage. On each level, you basically have to, and it's just a screen each level, you have to smash down all the buildings, do enough damage till they all collapse, while being shot at by the army, etc. And then when you are defeated, you hit the ground, you become naked, and you awkwardly run off sideways, covering your nudity.
I've never played it, but I did watch a YouTube video.
Yeah,
the other day.
It was a cracker.
Yeah, okay.
It was good. I did enjoy it. Also, I had a rip-off version called Ramparts, where you're a giant knight smashing up a castle.
Really? Yeah.
No, that is true.
Oh, wow, okay.
You can look that up. So, 3 monsters. Then we hear they've cast Rock, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
I tried.
One day.
I was actually going to do that thing where I just paused and deferred to you, and then I thought I'll give it a shot. Because if I don't give it a shot,
it was close. It was close. So you're getting there.
And even though Lizzie was a woman, you think, okay, well, these are 3 wild boys, rowdy boys. Surely they're playing the monsters, but no, they're just going to be capturing some generic monsters who have gone even more, it looks like they've put even more effort into trying to divorce them from the characters that they clearly were a rip-off of the beginning. So obviously a big monkey's going to always look like King Kong, so he's white now. And Lizzie's become a crocodile.
Yes, who you don't really see in the... you do. Right at the end. Yeah.
And the wolf's just a wolf.
Yeah.
A giant wolf.
Yeah, their head's a little bit different, a bit fucked up, but yeah, I don't know.
Giant wolf is going to climb up a building and bite the windows out or something.
Yeah, there should be just Fenrir movies every year.
So, Rock doing another role which is the exact same as every other role he's ever done in his life.
Look. In this era of hugely problematic Hollywood stars, I'm happy to just go and watch rock movies.
Well,
And until the day when he gets exposed as a sex pest, but until then, I'm happy to just go and watch rock movies.
Look at like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, at least, is doing something. Kind of like a character choice, which might end up being a little bit much, but he's doing something. He's a performer. The Rock's just a fucking, I don't know. Like, he's fine. Like, I agree, he's likable. I like The Rock, but he's not an actor. He's just a placeholder. He's a cipher.
Oh.
So there you go. I'm sure we'll see that anyway. And hype train coming through. Deadpool 2, kind of a trailer, had some brief flashes of footage, but was more of a
Lol, isn't it funny? Deadpool wear wig.
lol.
Yay!
Bob Ross, that's a meme. He's so rando.
He is so
Deadpool.
rando.
So random.
I
The things he'll do.
don't understand. Look,
There was a masturbation joke. I'm glad that happened.
of course there was.
Because Deadpool should be called Deadpool off because he likes to jerk it, doesn't he?
Yeah, for sure. Was Bob Ross ever a thing here?
In Australia, no.
Yeah, no.
It's like an American meme.
Yeah, I
so-
don't. Like, I mean, I kind of get Bob Ross, but I don't get Bob Ross. Like, I don't understand why.
It's because it's funny because his hair and because he's passionate about something that is dumb, right?
Okay.
He's painting things.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's good because
Oh, look, the trailer made me laugh once or twice.
Oh no, I did too. I'm jazzed to see this film. I'll be just as excited to see it. Like, I want to see it. I want to see Cable. I want to see all that stuff. But I don't know. I remember watching Space Jam and seeing Bugs Bunny and just thinking, this would be cool if he murdered people and had a wank occasionally.
Yeah. I mean, everybody had that thought.
Yeah. And now we've got that. And anyway, like, let's be honest. Rob Liefeld, fucking genius. And I think that there are a lot of superhero movies coming out, a lot of genre movies, in fact, all throughout the year. Because it's not just we've had all the Marvel movies and we've had Justice League, but then, you've also had things like Valerian and all sorts of stuff, Transformers. And I think those people that are avoiding all that, and each time one of those movies come out, they watch Deadpool a few more times, this would be good that they'll eventually have a second Deadpool to watch a few more times when future movies come out.
So their DVD doesn't wear out.
Yeah.
They can have something else to watch. Yeah, they can alternate.
Yeah. Because you can imagine it. I get those emails from the Cinebuzz. These are the movies coming out this week. Can you imagine that? Like, you're going, there's another 5 movies on Thursday.
I'm gonna have to watch Deadpool like
20 times.
20 times to make up for it.
Per movie. Yeah. And I got to do that every year. And then I got to go and buy a replacement copy of Deadpool because this one's worn out.
Yeah.
And it's rubbing out, just like he's rubbing out to that unicorn all the time. And And look, I love Francis, but hey, my favourite villain.
Oh man, that Francis joke was just not used enough. I hope there's a lot of Francis jokes in Deadpool 2.
My 3 favourite pop culture villains.
Yeah.
Francis.
Yeah.
Steppenwolf and Taylor Swift. Yeah, love them. They're the best. And Loki as well. But I put him in the same.
You said 3, so you can't put him in.
But don't make me choose. I know I'm just being rando, like Deadpool. Oh, that didn't come out right. That's what he says. Yeah. Good job. I wore the brown pants. Am I right?
Oh, poo jokes. So classy.
Yeah. The
cool.
brown pants.
Yep.
Doing things that movies have never done before.
I know.
God.
Such a revolutionary.
I just reckon, like, with couldn't you just CGI Deadpool's head into other movies and that sort of already have his humour but aren't good because they don't have superheroes in them?
Yep.
Like,
imagine like Knocked Up, but then when the baby comes out, it's just Deadpool.
Yeah, and super bad. Like when that guy gets the period stain on his leg when he dances with that girl.
But it's Deadpool.
And you're like, oh yeah, super bad. But if it was Deadpool, it'd be everyone would love that.
Yeah.
They'd be like, good job, I wore the red pants.
Yeah.
And then it'd cut to Santa Claus and he'd go, booyah.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Santa say booyah instead of ho ho ho? Come on, it's 2017. What is this? War on Christmas?
Yeah, exactly. He needs to have. He needs to up his hashtag game.
All right. We didn't mean all that. We were just being sarcastic. Like, I know people get upset when we make fun of Deadpool. But we were just being sarcastic and irreverent, like Deadpool.
Like Deadpool,
because we love him so much. So we were just making fun of things and breaking the fourth wall. It's, because that's how we do. Booyah. All right, reviews. Justice League. We watched it. Man, this is going to take some unpacking.
Okay. I'll start with something good about Justice League. I watched that trailer, and I didn't mind the trailer, but every time the fucking Flash was on that screen, I was like, I fucking hate this guy. Like, every second that I see the Flash, I hate him. And how am I going to get through this film with there being so much Flash in it? I actually liked the Flash. I thought he was kind of fun.
Man, I'm going to be the opposite.
Really?
Because in the trailers, I'm like, yeah, they're funny. They're funny gags. And the way that the trailers got the music pumping and the sort of quick cuts. Whereas I feel like a lot of the jokes, when you actually see them in the context of the film, then the scene just kind of awkwardly sort of shifts slowly to something like,
But at least, I don't know, it felt...
They're just hanging there as if someone with a weird sense of humour just threw them in at the last minute.
Yeah, but there was something about that extremely awkward personality and awkward delivery of all that stuff that sort of appealed to me in amongst all the really earnest goofiness of everybody else.
Yeah, although, look, don't get me wrong, I don't want to diss him too bad because I didn't dislike him. Like, he was fine. I think it's... and through no fault of his own. Like, I like the actor. But he's definitely being asked to do a lot of that work. And I'm sorry, coherency is going to be a big part of this review for me. And it's a movie that, in terms of asking it to be coherent, it's just been destined to fail on that front for a long time because of the just bizarre circumstances of which it's come out of. But Flash also gets the most incoherent joke that takes too much time for me.
Oh yeah,
when he does the thing about brunch, and I'm angry about brunch, and why do people want to wait in line for an hour and stuff? Such a relatable joke, such a globally relatable joke.
Yeah, I always get so frustrated waiting for brunch.
How often are you and I, we've waited in line for an hour trying to get our brunch on.
Yeah.
Where's our brunch, we're saying?
All we wanted is some hashtag smashed avo, and we're just being made to wait.
And sometimes I'll look at you and go, well, why do we do this every weekend? And we just laugh, but got to have that brunch.
Yeah.
So he says that joke, which is sort of given quite a lot of room in a scene, gets a callback later on. And I'm like, I did have one of those is this real life moments. Like, am I in the same world as everybody else? Have I just slipped into a pocket dimension where this is actually a hilarious joke that makes sense to other people? There are other people going, tell it like it is. Because even if that was a thing that everybody related to, and I don't know, is it an LA thing? Is it a New York thing? This movie is going to play around the world, so I don't know how relatable it is to a lot of people. But even if it was true for everyone, isn't that a what about airplane food kind of joke in the first yeah. So anyway, that was one of the big gags, because that was the thing people have been saying about this film. Because it's been out for a few days before we saw it, saying, it's far funnier and it's quippier and etc. And I was thinking, okay, yeah, great, let's see that. I didn't really feel that.
No, I sort of was sitting there watching it for a long time, just going, okay, it's gonna start to pick up in a minute. It's gonna start to pick up in a minute. Even Wonder Woman had been in there for ages. I love Wonder Woman, but even Wonder Woman scenes were just a bit like, I'm going to come in and kick these people and then go away kind of thing. It's just like, ooh. And I think this being obviously the first DC movie after Wonder Woman, I think it was really shown up in its just lack of sincerity. Like, you've got the Wonder Woman film, which is sincere and warm and wonderful, and I know this movie had heaps of problems with reshoots and all of that sort of shit, so it was up against it from the get-go, but it's just so much in stark contrast to even the other recent films. Like, I think Batman vs Superman is much better than this film.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I know that suddenly people are like, whoa, that's it, I'm out. I'm not going to listen to this, because I've heard people saying that they think this is better. But I have absolutely zero regrets about seeing this film. And I'm sure I will watch this film again. So before anyone gets too worried about this, we're not talking about a film that...
It's not unwatchable.
It was a big, like, fucking bad for you junkie hamburger film. It's a big, spectacular mess of a thing. And
I'm glad we got to see it in IMAX, because that was pretty great.
Yeah, and of course I fucking wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Of course I want to go and see the Justice League go and do crazy things and see all these big, like, bombastic fights and just the sheer spectacle of it. So it certainly delivered on that front. God, like, it's a Frankenstein's monster of a film. It's so pieced together and tonally just all over the place, even right from the very beginning. When you think of that first shot that you see, which is 100% Joss Whedon, it's even using that trope that Joss Whedon uses in Avengers, that idea of let's see a superhero through the public's eye. And it's the most anti-Zack Snyder, because it's just it's natural light and it's just out on the street and there's no flashiness or composition to it. You can also tell that it's the CGI'd moustache thing happening. And you go from that sequence to the very next sequence, which is the most dark Snyder coded sequence ever. Two just completely different things. And then the movie just goes from that point rocketing through all these different things, which are all over the place and completely incoherent. And you hear people say, why can't movies be more like the comics? I think this is the most successful in creating the incoherency of a mainstream comic. If you were just to pick up a mainstream DC comic, you would see all these really flamboyant, crazy-looking characters fighting weird monsters and creatures and stuff, and then talking like they're adults in a serious drama. Like, it's just that nuttiness of... and then this guy comes in, and this guy's got horns, and here's a wing guy, and then this guy's half his face is a robot, and then there's this... It made me feel like, because if you didn't know anything about these characters, if there wasn't that assumed history of the relationships, etc., and even all the things from other movies, like the Zod ship still being in the city, all that sort of stuff, I can't imagine how you would navigate through this. You would be like, and here's Amber Heard under the ocean grimacing while fighting a thing, and then this guy walks in, and then this guy says, it's just that kind of movie. It reminded me of, we talked about it on the show, I can't remember what it was called, but it was the Chinese movie about the gods, and it had... Oh, yes. And it had Jet Li in it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called.
And it was just completely fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a great ride, but it just kept changing, and here's this crazy character, and now this guy's going to do this thing, and you were just like, yeah, sure,
great.
Okay, now what? And that's what this was for me, just this big jumble. For me, it's the Fast and the Furious of comic book movies. Which is why I guess people are like, oh, yeah, no, this one's fun. Because for me, it has that same sort of pretty hollow character, one-liner, arrive at a scene late, get out early, just bam, 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 let's just keep moving, let's just get through it, throw in a joke, do something heroic, and then, we'll come out the other side. But
it's one of those movies that, like, I was enjoying it, but... I was also quite aware of feeling sorry for the actors. Like, there was a lot of, like, Henry Cavill stuff, and I'm just watching him going, God, I know you have better things to do than basically anything you're doing in this film.
Yeah, and the kind of goodwill that kind of gets drained out of Wonder Woman, like all the wonderful things they set up that kind of get tarnished or torn apart. Not that I think this has any negative impact on the Wonder Woman story. It's just that it's like we've seen this done better.
Yep.
And you think about the the dialogue in the Wonder Woman movie. Like, you think about the charisma and the dialogue between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine, like, even when they're on the boat or whatever, just those dialogue scenes. There's nothing that reaches that level of humour or warmth in this film.
Well, they were able to improvise that, so it was all very... that stuff on the boat, all very organic and how they felt their characters would be. And I can't imagine anybody was getting to do any improvising on Justice League.
Yeah, so you hear that this is the funnier film, and it's just not for me. Wonder Woman was far funnier and better written, in my opinion, even though it has the same sort of messy villain problems.
Ending, yeah.
But there's just nothing that... I mean, granted, like, I'm not a child anymore, as try as I might.
Physically, yeah.
But because Danny Elfman did the music, you get those stings of the, like, 89 Batman film. And just the way that film and that world immersed me and got my imagination going and made me think about Batman as a character, compared to now, where I didn't have a sense of place in this film ever. I had no sense of Metropolis or Gotham City or...
Central City.
Yeah, anything like that. And to hear that music again, that music which conjured up so much imagination for me initially, and see it in a sequence which is a big, spectacular sequence, but it felt to me like I was watching one of the story cutscenes from an Injustice game or something.
Yeah.
It just didn't have the mood or the tone or the feeling that swept me up and made me feel like a kid.
Well, like Wonder Woman's introduction, you hear the sting of her theme for 2 seconds and it's gone, you never hear it again. And I was like, yeah, oh, okay.
I mean, I love the kind of... And some of it's kind of clumsy and sort of... I've heard people diss on the CGI on this film.
Yeah.
And there is some wonkiness in there. There's some things that you kind of strike out. You know, some of the compositing's kind of weird, which Ragnarok suffered from as well. But I do love her opening shot. Just the... But that's what I want from a film like this, is that kind of iconography. And if you think about things like what Alex Ross did with Kingdom Come, the fully painted Justice League story, and about really finding those iconic images. And I think that's something I like about Zack Snyder's work previously, and I've defended him a lot in the past, is that he will give you those really striking, iconic images. And I think Wonder Woman, when you first see her, is one of those images where I go, oh yeah, that's cool. But I was very surprised. I expected that's the sort of thing that would get me through this film, that there would be more of that superhero iconography, which is what I think you really need to make something like this work. And I didn't see a lot of it. I can't remember memorable shots with, everything's got the same kind of look, but there weren't a couple of Batman shots where I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I can't say the same for everybody. And there were more shots which was everyone's just fighting, as opposed to, shots that link to the characters' ideology and what they represent. And, the sort of thing where you can look at a still from a film and go, okay, this is what this is saying about this character. I think Man of Steel managed to do that. I think Batman vs. Superman managed to do that as well. But for me, this film... and this is why I think it's better than Batman vs. Superman, is that it inherits the main problems of Batman vs. Superman, and in a way amplifies them, I would say. And that's because that was an incoherent movie. Like, I think the biggest problem was it was trying to do too much in one film, and it wasn't giving breath to either of the main things it was doing. It was trying to be The Dark Knight Returns, but then it was also trying to be The Death of Superman, two big convoluted stories that it was mashing together as one, and it's so tonally uneven. It's a film where I've said before, I like the individual pieces, but they don't come together to be a big film. And I think this film is even more disparate pieces that just sort of are pushed up against each other, but none of them really click together. And don't have any sort of logical, and I mean logical within the superhero world, but through line that kind of connects them all.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. It can be a direct comparison to, say, the first Avengers movie and how that team comes together And the Avengers felt very organic in the way that they all ended up together. And then these guys, it just felt like you're just smashing a jigsaw puzzle together, just hoping that it's going to, if not fit, it'll just kind of stay in the place.
You appreciate as well just how economic the team building is in Avengers. Like, you look at how Bruce comes on board, for example, whereas in this one, it was actually far more belaboured than I was expecting, especially in a movie which we already knew had 50 minutes cut off of it after Zack left and Joss took over.
Yeah, there was a lot of treading water with Cyborg. Like, Cyborg's not a character that you want to tread water with. Like, just get him in, get him doing his job, get on with it.
And people, like, the scenes, they would come in and say, hey, I want you to join, and they'd be like, no, I'm not really interested. And then there would be like another attempt to sort of find out information, and the character still wouldn't be interested. And then the character would just turn up anyway. And it didn't... Compared to Avengers, you've got to... Like, the characters go through a similar arc, but there is a through line there. So you've got that kind of nice, ingenious set piece and dialogue-driven bit with Natasha and Bruce. Then when you've got Bruce, he's still not 100% convinced. He's not all in from that scene, but he expresses his doubts while walking through the helicarrier for the first time and seeing everything. So it's got that momentum. You know he's a step further along the path. It's not like she came in and was like, come on, yes, and me, Bruce, and he put up a wall, and then she had to leave the scene, and then he came back late, and then they had to do it again. And the other advantage of that, you're seeing the helicarrier for the first time just as Bruce is. So you're, as an audience, you've got that refreshed thing of going into a new environment and he becomes the audience surrogate. Whereas this is just characters putting up brick walls and just no momentum, which kind of frustrated me. And the way the Cyborg joining up thing, the park and where he is, and if you want to meet him, and then, but we knew he was there. Okay, well, if you want to meet him face to face, like...
Yeah.
You knew he was there, but you didn't take the opportunity because you wanted to go away and then do some more stuff, and then, like, just crazy. Like, just... If you already cut 50 minutes, there's some more stuff you could snip out. And poor Cyborg, I know we've belaboured this before, speaking of belaboring, but I just feel so bad about his lack of dick. He's got no dick.
Yeah.
He's the castrated black man that gets to hang out with the black people.
Yeah. And I like... I mean, Aquaman feels like them turning the tables on how everybody just makes fun of Aquaman all the time. They're like, well, we're going to have this big buff guy, and look how buff he is. We're going to show you how buff he is, because he's going to take his fucking shirt off all the fucking time. And I'm just like, oh. I actually kind of disliked Aquaman. I thought that I would be pretty neutral on him, but I was just like, oh, every time he turned up, I was just like, oh, you dirty man, go away.
I wouldn't want to hang out with him.
No.
And Bruce, let me tell you something. Everybody can talk to fish.
Yeah.
You look, if you've got fish around you...
You can talk to them.
Go and talk to them.
They probably won't talk back.
Yeah. So even that's tired. It's funny, like, people have said in reviews that they felt it was more like an episode of Justice League Unlimited or something, which is a series that I loved. I haven't revisited it, in a long time, so I'm sure that age has done its thing to it. But, I didn't even feel that.
No, I fully expected to come out of this film being a bit, not DC apologist, but to have found something that I really loved in it and something that I was willing to defend in it. But I was spending so much time during the film just going, what the fuck is happening here? Like, what is going on? Why are we spending so much time on this thing? And if I'm sitting there questioning that, then the movie's not working effectively for me.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm being taken along on the ride, then it's like, great. But if I'm sitting there questioning things that are happening, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of silliness.
It is a bunch of silliness. And I'm not opposed to a bunch of silliness, but... And even when Steppenwolf sort of first turned up, I was like, okay, this is a big, dumb, cartoony villain. I can get behind this. But then nothing changes with Steppenwolf. Like
No.
Steppenwolf is so one-dimensional and does not much, and it was a very disappointing villain.
Well, none of them really do anything. None of them really have much of an arc. None of them are really. No one's ever in jeopardy, are they?
No,
Like
not ever. No.
someone gets a scratch.
Oh yeah, Cyborg gets a few issues, but like he's a fucking robot.
Yeah, no one's ever.
Get a screwdriver and get a drill and a couple of screws, and he's fine.
Yeah, no, nothing ever really happens to any of them.
No. And one thing that I loved, like it's not really a spoiler, but right at the end where they're sort of watching things unfold or happen, and fucking Flash is lying there on the ground, like fucking paint me like one of your French girls,
Yeah.
and that made me laugh so much.
That's
the iconic image that
That's
I
the
will
shot.
take
I
away
agree. I
from
love
this
that.
film. That was so funny.
Yeah. No, he's doing that sort of, and obviously deliberately so. It's not one of those things where we're saying, and this happened and they didn't realise it looked like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh yeah, it's on purpose.
he's very much enjoying that,
Yeah.
and I like that too. Yeah, I like that aspect of his character. Actually, the he's not like the big masculine dickhead character.
No, and he actively says, "Hey, look, I don't think I'm prepared for this,
Yeah.
and I don't know about all of this." And they're just like, "You'll be fine."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I don't know that I will be, but sure, let's just go ahead with it."
So, I mean, I don't know how this movie could have been anything other than, because you've got that issue of slapping two filmmakers whose styles couldn't be more different together, which is a problem. And then you have this horrible thing, and that's the real downside of the vocal fandom, of suddenly getting cold feet about what you're doing and having to reimagine it on the fly, and producing some sort of weird hybrid which is trying to please everybody, and not really.
And completely ignoring the things that people have really been responding to. Like, there was a lot of controversy, I guess, during the week of how instead of just taking the Amazonian designs from the Wonder Woman movie, they just redid a lot of them. And the armor's all different, and it's far less practical than it was in the Wonder Woman movie. Lots of bare midriffs and lots of all of that sort of thing. And it's just like, but like all of that stuff is already there.
I wonder
like
if
it exists.
I wonder if it was, though. That's some of those things that makes me wonder if this is just sort of that parallel filmmaking where they're kind of, because they would have been both being made at similar times, if not at the same time, and just, things that gets traded, different people on different jobs, and they sort of have a rough idea. And it's like, I was thinking about this. We've talked about this a bit recently as well. And again, it's just one of those things I've never thought of before. If we don't like the CGI or something, we tend to get down on directors, as if, how did you let that happen or whatever.
Not their call.
You look at the credits. There's so many fucking CGI houses on that thing. So many. And really, it's like when you commission something. You send it out, you pay the money depending on what you've contracted, it comes back, and unless they've, done something really dangerous,
You just go with it.
you that's what you got.
Yeah.
And you go, well, it's not the best, but we just won't use that again. And that's why, you hear people go, I don't understand why this looks good and this looks bad. That's why. Because you go, all right, this company does horses. Well, we need a lot of horses charging in. Can you guys do that? Great. And you get the shot back and you go, oh, fuck, I thought they'd do better than that. But we got a deadline, and
it's vaguely a horse, it'll do.
And we spent the money on it. So in the film it goes. Like, they don't have a choice. So, you see all these names going by in the credits, and you go, wait, let's give that guy some blame. Fucking...
Like, half of the credits are digital artists.
Yeah. And I look in there and I'm going, Steve Hansen there, you didn't do your job. You did a bad job on those horses. So, let's give Zack Snyder a break. Fucking that guy, sitting there at his desk, one job, draw some fucking horses. Bad job. Did a bad job. You can see a real horse as well.
Yeah.
Plenty of reference.
Absolutely.
Dickhead. Steve. So, God, it made me appreciate Thor more because regardless of some of my criticisms of Thor, and again, like we gave Thor like fucking 7 out of 10, which is like pretty much Metacritic.
Yeah.
You know, like we're pretty much in line with what the critics thought. Like we're not really outliers on Thor. We're just not like, oh my god, best movie ever, 5 out of 5. But yeah, like Thor has some pacing, plotting stuff in there, but it's got a far clearer through line than this does. But then again, you know, apples, oranges, right?
Yeah.
This is a different beast. And what a beast. So, fuck, I'm glad we saw it. I was really jazzed to see it. I was pumped.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see Justice League, and now we have.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way we weren't going to be fair.
I think ultimately, having just done that big dump of our thoughts, I wanted more iconography.
Yeah.
That would have carried me through. Really, just great shots would have gotten me through it. Because when you think about the lead up and you're seeing pictures like of Amber Heard in that awesome armor and you hear like she's going to be Mira and your imagination starts to go and you think, oh, I can't wait to see that. And then I actually felt while watching those sequences and seeing her like going, oh, you know, we saw it. You're going to wait a year or whatever to see it. And that's what she gets.
And
like,
she was never Amber Heard from again.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? But like you watch it and you go, oh, well, there's nothing really that, you know, it was fine, but
she was there.
There's no big iconic shot of her or anything where I just go, oh, fuck yeah. And one last thing I'm going to say, and this is, if everyone could bitch for however many years after Man of Steel about Superman breaking a neck and that being against the character, I think Aquaman smashing a whiskey bottle into the ocean, protector of the oceans,
it's a pretty dick move.
That's fucked, man.
But it looked cool and it made him look wild and edgy, am I right? Yeah.
That's the disconnect about this film, isn't it? This idea of wouldn't it look cool if Aquaman sculled some whiskey and then smashed the bottle on the dock and into the ocean? And it's like, yeah, but like,
it wouldn't look cool if Aquaman did like a backflip while standing in the ocean and then swam away. Not really.
But
sure.
Jar Jar did it better. All right, look, I was going to talk about some other stuff, Battlefront, everything. That's an hour. Shall we just...
Yeah, maybe put some more time into Battlefront and then you can do it next week.
I'm loving the shit out of Battlefront and I just got VR Skyrim. So we'll talk some video games in a week which doesn't have a massive pop culture release.
Yeah, we haven't got much next week. We do have one film that we may negotiate about seeing that I'm very excited about, but otherwise there is Pooh Sticks the movie.
Oh, so we haven't... Should we rate Justice League? We haven't rated it.
Oh, shit. I haven't really...
Fuck, that's a hard one, isn't it?
Oh, fuck. Like, I want to... Like, I mean, Letterboxd is tricky. Like, I feel like I want to give it between 2.5 and 3, but I cannot.
I'm with you as well.
Because that's not how ratings work.
Because I feel like 2.5, just saying right down the middle, that seems almost unfair. It almost seems a little cruel.
But then to say 7 out of 10? Is it a 7 out of 10? I don't think so.
Well, 3's a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
But then I don't know if it's, like, really that good.
Well, I mean...
Well, that's...
6 out of 10 is only just over meh.
Yeah.
So it is just over meh.
I don't see, like, 2.5 as a meh. I see... This is why... Suzanne said this to me, like, the 5-star system, not enough room. But then I think it's perfect because you get too comparative with other stuff. And I don't like it when people go, oh, you gave this, but you gave this. You know, you're saying this is better than this or whatever. Because
we're assessing different things.
Yeah, and I don't know how you can go, like, with a percentage, for example, that, oh, Thor's an 83, but this is an 81. You know, like, that's crazy to me. Whereas 2.5 for me is like, it just baseline. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but it was fine. It's fine. It does its job. It's fine. 3's like, yeah, it's better than 5. It's pretty good. 3.5's like, I really enjoyed that. And then upwards, it's like, yeah, this is one of my favorites of the year. And 2's like, yeah, this is under par. And 1's like, no, this is a mess. So, yeah, this is like It's probably 2.5 because I just don't feel strongly either way.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not going to remember a lot about this film. I'm not going to have any favourite scenes that I think about. Unlike Wonder Woman, like there's so much great stuff in Wonder Woman that I still, think of fondly now. And yeah, I don't think it's memorable. It was fun enough while we were in there, but I have not a lot of interest in seeing it again, and I probably won't think about it very much, basically.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it'll be a long time before I watch it again, because I'm thinking I don't think I'd rush out and buy it on Blu-ray, and then am I going to go, I'll sit down and watch it on Netflix? No, I'll probably watch whatever new is at the time. You know what else we haven't talked about, and I haven't even jumped into it, is Punisher.
Oh, God, no. I haven't even...
The first Marvel Netflix series that I haven't gotten straight on and given a go. I mean, to be fair, I've been busy doing other things, but I just don't... I'm sure I will have a look, but...
My prediction is that he shoots some people in a hallway.
I'm just not up for the ultra gun violence thing at the moment. I'm just not interested and I know they'll do like soldiers and PSD and all that sort of stuff, but it's just not part of my world.
Yeah. It feels a little bit gross at the moment. Yeah.
All right, kids. I think that's your lot. So please go to fruitlesspursuits.com to find out everything else we're doing. 3 shows dropping this week. There is a Dungeons and Drongos second part of Baby Piggy Braden. On Patreon, if you want to subscribe to that, there's also the third part of... There's actually 4 things going up this week. The third part and final part of the adventure that Zach DM'd, which is exclusive for Patreon peoples. We've got Half Hour History this week as well.
Very last one for the year.
Which we're just about to record. And you can also find links to our Facebook discussion group. Love to get your feedback. Love to have you just chat about pop culture things on there. And also, and we're on YouTube as well. Go to Fruitless Pursuits on YouTube. You can always watch these on YouTube, or listen on YouTube, I should say, because there's no visuals. But that's another option as well. If you're just in your browser one day and you're like, just do that. So, thanks everyone.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Camelot.
We are.